Hello, my friends. It's Dr. J, and I am going to be sharing with you the book of Psalms. What is the book of Psalms in the Bible? What is it about? So, the book of Psalms is about it's Old Testament, composed of sacred songs or of sacred poems that are meant to be sung. We find that in the Hebrew Bible, Psalms begins at the third and the last section of the biblical canon, and it's known as the writings, referred to as the Hebrew Ketuvim. And Psalms 150 serves as a doxology for the entire collection. Now, what are the five books of the Bible? The entire collection is thought to have been compiled over a period of maybe 1,000 years. The Psalms are traditionally divided into five books, possibly to reflect the five books of the Torah: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. And so as we go through this process, why is the book of Psalms so important? Most individual psalms involve the praise of God for his power and beneficence, for his creation of the world, and for his past acts of deliverance for Israel. And so there are five kinds of psalms, which is praise, wisdom, royal, thanksgiving, and lament. There are four kinds of prayer: adoration, contrition, thanksgiving, and supplication. And what is the purpose of the book of Psalms? The book of Psalms, which is generally believed to be the most widely read and the most highly treasured of all the books in the Old Testament, is a collection of poems and hymns and praises that expresses the religious feelings of Jews throughout the various periods of their national history. What is the theme of the book of Psalms? The book of Psalms, the theme is, we see, it's songs and praise to God as our creator, sustainer, and redeemer. Praises recognizing appreciation and expressing God's greatness. The importance of it is focusing on our thoughts on God and moves us into praise with him. And so we'll see that who are the writers of Psalms? Most of them were written by King David of Israel. Other people who wrote Psalms were Moses, Solomon, etc. And so the Psalms are very poetic. They have a flow to them. And I'll be reading them for you, which is the longest book in the Bible. Psalms 119 is the longest chapter of the Bible. And so when we think of the definition of Psalms in the Bible, we're thinking of a sacred song or poem used in worship, especially one of the biblical hymns collected in the book of Psalms. So we will begin by looking at Psalm 1. Now let's look at Psalm 1. The way of the righteous and the end of the ungodly. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the prophets, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Psalms 1. Psalms 2. The Messiah's triumph and kingdom. Why do the nations range and the people plot a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together. against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bonds in pieces and cast away their cords from us. He who sits on the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall hold them in derision. Then he shall speak to them in his wrath and distress them in his deep displeasure. Yet I have set my king on my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord has said to me, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will give you the nations for your inheritance, and the ends of the earth for your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron. You shall dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. Be now, therefore, be wise, O king. Be instructed, you judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are those who put their trust in him. Psalms 2. Psalms 3. The Lord helps his troubled people. A psalm of David when he fled from Absalom, his son. Lord, how they have increased who troubled me. Many are they who rise up against me. Many are they who say of me, there is no help for him in God. Selah. But you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. I cried to the Lord with my voice, and he heard from his holy hill, Selah. I lay down and slept. I awoke, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000 of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord. Save, O my God. For you have struck all my enemies on the cheekbone. You have broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing is upon your people. Selah. Psalms 4. The safety of the faithful. To the chief musician with stringed instrument, a psalm of David. Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. You have relieved me in my distress. Have mercy and hear my cry. How long, O you sons of men, will you turn my glory to shame? How long will you love worthlessness and seek falsehood? Selah. But now that the Lord has set apart for himself him who is godly, the Lord will hear when I call him. Be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still, Selah. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. There are so many who say, who will show us any good? Lord, lift up the light of your countenance upon us. You have put gladness in my heart, more than in the season that their grain and wine increase. I will both lie down in peace and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm 5, a prayer for guidance. To the chief musician with flutes, a psalm of David. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my meditation. Give heed to the voice of my cry, my King and my God, for to you I will pray. My voice you shall hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning I will direct it to you, and I will look up. For you are not a God who takes pleasure in wickedness, nor shall evil dwell with you. The boastful shall not stand in your sight. You hate all workers of iniquity. You shall destroy those who speak falsehood. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into your house in the multitude of your mercy. In fear of you, I will worship toward your holy temple. Lead me, O Lord, in the righteousness because of my enemies. Make my way straight before my face. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is destruction. Their throat is an open tomb. They flatter with their tongue. Pronounce them guilty, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions, for they have rebelled against you. But let them, all those who rejoice, who put their trust in you, let them ever shout for joy because you have defended them. Let those also who love your name be joyful in you. For you, Lord, will bless the righteous. With favor, you will surround him with a shield. Psalm 6, a prayer of faith in time of distress. To the chief musician with string instruments on an 8th-string harp, a psalm of David. O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger, nor chasten me in your displeasure. Have mercy on me, O Lord, for I am weak. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are troubled. My soul is greatly troubled. But you, O Lord, how long? Return, O Lord, deliver me. O save me from your mercy's sake. For in death there is no remembrance of you. In the grave, who will give you thanks? I am weary from my groaning. All night I made my bed swim. I drenched my couch with my tears. My eyes wastes away because of grief. It grows old because of mine enemies. Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity. For the Lord has heard the voice of my weeping. The Lord has heard my supplication. The Lord will receive my prayer. Let all my enemies be ashamed and greatly troubled. Let them turn back and be ashamed suddenly. Psalms 7, a prayer for praise for deliverance from enemies, a meditation of David, which he sang to the Lord concerning the words of Cush, a Benjamite. Oh Lord, my God, in you I put my trust. Save me from those who persecute me and deliver me, lest they tear me like a lion, render me in pieces while there is none to deliver. Oh Lord, my God, if I have done this, if there's iniquity in my hands, if I have repaid evil to him who was at peace with me, or have plundered my enemy without cause, let the enemy pursue me and overtake me. Let them trample me, my life, to the earth, and lay my honor in the dust. Selah. Arise, O Lord, in your anger. Lift yourself up because of the rage of my enemies. Rise up for me to the judgment you have commanded. So the congregation of the peoples shall surround you for their sake. Therefore, return on high. The Lord shall judge the peoples. Judge me, O Lord, according to my righteousness and according to my integrity within me. Oh, let the wicked of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just. For the righteous God test the hearts and the minds. My defense is of God, who saves the upright in heart. God is a just judge, and God is angry with the wicked every day. If he does not turn back, he will sharpen his sword. He bends his bow and makes it ready. He also prepares for himself instruments of death. He makes his arrows into fiery shafts. Behold, the wicked brings forth iniquity. Yes, he conceives trouble and brings forth falsehood. He made a pit and dug it out and has fallen into the ditch which he made. His troubles shall return upon his head, and his violent dealings shall come down on his own crown. I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness and will sing praise to the name of the Lord Most High. Psalms 8, the glory of the Lord in creation, to the chief musician on the instrument of Gath, a psalm of David. O Lord, O Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth, who has set your glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes and nursing infants, you have ordained strength because of your enemies, that you may silence the enemy and the avenger. When I consider the heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon, the stars which you have ordained, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you visit him? For you have made him little lower than the angels, and you have crowned him with glory and honor. You have made him to have dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, even the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and the fish of the sea that passeth through the paths of the seas. O Lord, O Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth. Psalms 9. Prayer and thanksgiving for the Lord's righteous judgments. To the chief musician, to the tune of Death of the Sun, a psalm of David. I will praise you, O Lord, with all my whole heart. I will tell of your marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will praise your name, O Most High. When my enemies turn back, they shall fail and perish at your presence. For you have maintained my right and my cause. You sat on the throne judging in righteousness. You have rebuked the nations. You have destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name forever and ever. Oh, enemy, destructions are finished forever, and you have destroyed cities. Even their memories has perished, but the Lord shall endure forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment. He shall judge the world in righteousness, and he shall administer judgment for the peoples in uprightness. The Lord will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in time of trouble. And those who know your name will put your trust in you. For you, O Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. Sing praises to the Lord who dwells in Zion. Declare his deeds among the people. When he avenges blood, he remembers them. He does not forget the cry of the humble. Have mercy on me, O Lord. Consider my trouble from those who hate me. You who lift me up from the gates of death, that I may tell your praises in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in your salvation. The nation has sunk down in the pit which they made, in the net which they hid. Their own foot is caught. The Lord is known by the judgment he executes. The wicked is snared in the works of his own hands. Meditation, Selah. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God, for the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectations of the poor shall not perish forever. Arise, O Lord, do not let man prevail. Let the nations be judged in your sight. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Selah. Psalms 10, a song of confidence in God's triumph over evil. Why do you stand afar, O Lord? Why do you hide in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride persecutes the poor. Let them be caught in the plots which they have devised. For the wicked boast of their heart's desire. He blesses the greedy and renounces the Lord. The wicked in his proud countenance does not seek God. God is none of his thoughts. His ways are always prospering. Your judgments are far above, out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he sneers at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and oppression. Under his tongue is trouble and iniquity. He sits in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places, he murders the innocent. His eyes are secretly fixed on the helpless. He lies in wait secretly as the lion in his den. He lies in wait to catch the poor. He catches the poor, and when he draws into his net, so he crouches, he lies low, that the helpless may fall by his strength. He has said in his heart, God has forgotten. He hides his face. You'll never see me. Arise, O Lord. O God, lift up your hand. Do not forget the humble. Why do the wicked renounce God? He has said in his heart, you will not require an account. But you have seen, for you observed trouble and grief, to repay by your hand. That helpless commits himself to you. You are the helper of the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness until you find none. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations have perished out of his hand. Lord, you have heard the desire of the humble. You will prepare their heart. You will cause their ear to hear, to do justice to the fatherless and to the oppressed, that the man of the earth may be oppressed no more.